Hello everyone, welcome back to A Light in the Dark. Let's go ahead and continue. My head hurts. Through my eyelids I felt the sharp sunlight. I opened them to see the little piece of sky from the window. I passed a long night half asleep. I couldn't recall many details about last night, just how weak I was. The fluctuating temperature rendered my body powerless. My brain made me feel nauseated like I had a hangover. I felt there was something on my forehead, then realized it was a towel. The ice had been melted by my body heat, making the towel disgustingly wet. Remembering my foggy dream, my heavy heart dropped even further to the bottom. That was the memory of my mother, as well as the last thing I wanted to remember. Was it because of the stress? The warmth and the pulsation of my palms told me I was still alive. Huh? I suddenly realized my hands were free. Only the deep marks on my wrist proved that I wasn't dreaming. I started to move my hands in disbelief and tried to examine the rope on my legs when I heard the cold voice of the girl next to me.
おとなしくしろ。縄に触ったら縛り直すから。
The girl was already awake somehow, monitoring my every movement while holding the cell phone. I couldn't see the little girl. I assumed they were taking turns to rest, but I wasn't sure where she'd gone. After the argument and torment from last night, my own animosity against her lessened a lot. Either that, or I just had no energy to care. Good morning. I coughed a few times and greeted her with the gathered strength. You took care of me last night? She grunted unhappily. The non-committal reaction was her yes.
うるさい。そんな気力があるなら自分の体調に気をつけな。
Oh, didn't know you cared about me this much.
黙って。
Her shoes on the ground made a tap-tap sound. She walked to me and looked down from above.
すました顔をするんじゃない。気持ち悪い。
Worried she might really hurt me if I said the wrong thing, I simply shrugged. He'll kill me after getting the money. After the silence, I decided to be transparent. She hesitated and non-committally shook her head.
さあな。
Her attitude seemed to have softened from before. At least she no longer hit me at random or threatened to kill me. If they really didn't care, they wouldn't have bothered to buy medicine for me. It could be my wishful thinking, but I rather believe they had no intention to really do it. So my next step should be... I should cooperate and establish a better relationship with them. Might be able to persuade them after winning their trust. Anyway, thank you.
なんだ。
for taking care of me. She stumbled momentarily before responding.
礼を言うくらいなら、親父に早く金を出させる方が現実的だ。
Ah, how cute. She's so tsundere.
何笑ってんだ。
Nothing. Nothing. I didn't mean to enrage her, so I shook my head, indicating it was nothing. A hostage thanking their kidnapper. This sort of development would make anyone doubt his or her sanity. The argument from yesterday was like a switch, bringing forth emotions long forgotten. Is there anything to eat? My improving condition led to a better appetite. I asked her for food.
ほら。
First a pack of cookies, then she threw a can of something else over. I picked up the can and stared at the coal in hand in confusion. And I had no idea why this thing would be here. Do I drink this?
バカ言え。飲む以外にどうする？
Thanks. I still had no clue, but wouldn't say no to a chance to switch things up. I opened up the cookies obediently to fill my stomach with something first, then washed them down with the soda. So sweet. Since all I had had were crackers and steamed buns, the sudden salt of flavor was too much.
後で薬を飲みな。あんたの面倒を見る暇はないんだから。
The medicine she spoke of was on the desk. The effect was immediate and didn't make me sleepy. I wondered what it was made of. The food and partial freedom allowed me to relax my mind a little. A relaxed hostage? I must have been getting too comfortable with this situation.
おとなしく、親父が金を払うのを待ちな。金が。
Oops. Sorry. As though reading my mind, she spoke to me calmly. This was the softest tone that she'd ever used, as though she was comforting me. Not able to bear that gaze, I looked to the window. The more time we spent together, the more I understood her thoughts, her anger, her content, and deep down, her unease. There was a way to avoid harming anyone and end all this peacefully. I shook my head, laughing at myself for the naivety of that thought. Okay, I know we can observe the bathroom. Let's talk to them for a bit. Let's see, how much money do you actually owe? How much money do you actually owe?
何のためにそれを聞く？
It was rare she didn't reply in mean words, just coldly. Is there no other option? Is there no other option?
他の方法？
Even $1 million debt shouldn't lead to kidnapping. You can save that much if you work hard for a few years.
きちんと仕事をしていればって？
She burst into laughter and looked at me casually, while supporting her head.
あいにく、あんたたちと違って、私は親父の会社とかに就職できないんでね。皿洗い？キャバ嬢？売春？ それに借金を全部返済したとしてもどうなるんだ。3、40歳になって新しい生活でも始めろってか。
Changing the subject, she asked me coldly in return.
なんで私だけこんなにも時間を奪われなきゃならないんだ。他の奴らが楽しく遊んでいるのに。世の中は不公平だから私は賭けに出たのよ。最悪の場合でも捕まって銃殺刑になるだけ。今も死んでるのとあまり変わらないしね。
Okay, let's see. Let's chat one more time, I think. Or we can just take a look around. I know we have the bathroom. Oh, crackers. Maybe the bathroom? The window? Let's not anger her. I don't want to do that. Let's talk about the crackers. Or the cell phone. Let's talk about the crackers. No, nah, let's... Anything here? Nah, not really. Maybe the cigarettes? Let's ask about that. That one's new. It's a 6-pack cola. Its packaging indicates that it's salt flavored. Salt flavored? I haven't really had salted cola since elementary school due to its inexplicably weird taste. Where did she get it from? So you drink cola when you're sick, huh?
出ないと何を飲むの？
Don't you usually have a sports drink? Maybe hot ginger tea? Nana would usually make a huge bowl of that for me to drink when I was sick. Just the smell made my scalp tingle, but now even that had become a special memory.
ずっとそうしてきたのよ。風邪の時はあいつはいつも箱で買ってくれた。飲んだら熱が下がるって。
The topic brought forth some memories for her. There was some inexplicable emotion as she gazed toward the window. Did it work? I did hear about drinking cola when you have heat stroke, so in that regard it did make sense, I guess.
知らないわよ。どうせ飲んでも死なないし、甘くて美味しいし。
Doesn't matter if it works, it's just a habit. Just like some need to pray before a meal, or some only smoke a certain brand of cigarette. When behavior becomes a habit, it starts to take on another meaning, and leads to many memories. Looking inside her face deep in thought, I realized even she had a sentimental side. Is there a new chat option? What's next? Well, maybe let's ask what's next. Hey. So, what's your plan after getting the money?
聞いてどうする？
She suspiciously turned her head to me, waiting for my answer. Just curious.
くだらない。
During the long waits, I had nothing to kill time with but chatting. She stayed silent for a bit, tapping the cigarette ash on the desk, then quietly opened her mouth.
どこか誰も私のことを知らない場所で新しい生活を始めたい。
The face of the girl stating her vision was so determined, like some pious nun praying. There's neither passion nor desire, just serenity.
どこだっていい。少しお金が貯められて 生活はまあまあ成り立てばいい。ご飯が食べられて、住む場所さえあればいい。
You can't do that now? It didn't sound that impossible. She could have just grabbed a knapsack and gone up to the countryside like those work exchange folks.
今
She laughed and waved her hand as though I just asked something really stupid.
ないない。借金がある限り、あいつらからは逃げられない。顔を潰しても、名前を変えても無理。
But even if you got the money and paid out the debt, could you really get out of this really easily? Either through surveillance camera footage or call records, it's impossible to escape from the pursuit of the police thanks to modern technology. Escaping abroad might be an option, but the language barrier and the lack of cash would also be problematic. I didn't know if she had thought about this. It was weird for me to ask her anyway.
おかしいと思ってんの
Nope. I thought of similar things. I think everyone has going someplace where no one knows you who you are. Away from the stigma or any expectations, just to live as your true self.
なんであんたは自分の生活のどこが不満なんだ
Men are greedy animals. Noticing I didn't speak the truth, she hesitantly opened her mouth, but nothing came out in the end. It seems you're going okay. Seeing that I had gotten better, she walked towards me with the rope.
手を出しな
Do you really need to tie me up? I can't escape like this.
こっちとこっち自分で選べ
She motioned to the rope in her left hand, then to the knife on the right. Let's see, knife. I picked knife. Wait, what does that even mean?
両ももに1回ずつ刺すそうしたら拘束しない
Never mind. The rope is fine.
言ったな
The bread she brought back for lunch was the classic scallion bread with pork floss. The long, absent flavor spread in my mouth and made this meal a feast after days of nothing but nutritive biscuits. In contrast to me wolfing down the bread, she showed no appetite next to the window. What was she thinking about? I decided to focus on the bread before me since I just recovered from illness. You got so many flavors this time. How come? Seeing all the flavors in the bag, I was confused by her generosity.
パン屋の売れ残りだどうせ食われなかったら捨てられる
She coldly turned her head and grunted with distaste.
そういう高品質を持参する名店が大嫌いだ奴らは食べ物を捨てても困っている人たちに分け与えない奴らの言い分を聞いたことがある残りをタダであげたら本来の客たちは金を払いたくなくなるそんな理由で
She mockingly laughed, despising the self-proclaimed fancy shops. From their point of view, they do have a point. replenished some strength after filling my stomach, and started chat with her. It might be hard to understand, just like people not getting why others would pay thousands of Taiwan dollars for a steak, or much more for a pair of headphones. For most people, food was just to relieve hunger. For some people, however, it was to pursue the ultimate sensation and taste. Time does affect the bread's texture. The store needs to maintain the quality for their reputation. If the shop cut the price when there was some left over, then people would only come right before closing. This would affect the profitability negatively. Initially, I wanted to explain the impact of an expectation mindset. I decided to go with a simpler way to explain it. The shop needs to make a profit, so it is only natural for them to.
人の差が？あんたが言う人の差がって何なの？人にやるより捨てること？
Didn't I just say? It's not a matter of throwing it away or not, but the mentality of the customers would impact profit.
そこが気に入らないんだ。品質だの信用だの。人が餓死するより信用の方が大事。金が稼げていたら他はどうでもいい。それがあんたが言う人の差が。
Her staring eyes were burning with fire, like those that had seen the worst of humanity and were overflowing with rage. Let's see. I think the right choice was too hostile. Even if you disagree, that was their freedom of choice.
自由？そんなたわごとは教科書の中だけにして。金持ちはどう浪費しても構わない。彼らの自由だから。私は小さい頃から借金を返すためバイトをし続けてきて、住む場所もない。なぜそれを自由だと感じたことは一度もなかったんだ。それとも働きたくなければ道端で飢え死にすればいいと？大した自由だね。
I believe I chose the wrong option. I couldn't respond to her argument. They all say one must work hard to find opportunities. But no one will tell you you only have less than half the time others have due to your family. They say society only cares about your abilities. But no one will tell you that poverty will hide from ever being seen. They say people are born equal. Yet no one will tell you that this is just a lie. Well, it is true that no one can decide his or her upbringing, I guess. I can only respond with this after staying silent for a while. It just sounds like an excuse.
あんたにとってはもちろんフェアだろうね、お坊ちゃま。
My sincerest apologies. She grunted and turned her head away. End the conversation. The girl was looking outside of the window with a cigarette. She was always extra quiet when smoking, like with some serious ritual. In a room only a few square feet in size, two people with opposite backgrounds quietly sat preoccupied with their own thoughts. How old was she? What happened? Why was she doing this? I thought I didn't care, but the more time we spent together, the more I realized how different she was from my imagination. The criminals in the news all looked evil and inhumane. It's hard to imagine they might have their stories too. The things they like, the things they hate, the people they cherish, their worries, their thoughts. There's a sentence from a book. Everyone tries to live a better life. No one would think of him or herself as being irrational or crazy. If you felt that way, that meant you didn't know that person well enough. You didn't try to understand them. The fast-paced modern society made it exhausting to take care of oneself, let alone others. You didn't care what others were like. Labeling them as good guy or bad guy was just that much easier. Okay, let's see, let's chat. Maybe there's something to talk about? Do we know each other? What do you plan to do with that little girl? Do we know each other?
そんなわけないだろ。生活にこんなにも差があるんだから。
Hearing my question, she snorted mockingly. Really? Somehow I think I've seen you before. Hearing how insistent I was, she tilted her head and started thinking.
まさか店で。いや、ありえない。それとも、ニュースか交番で私を見たとでも言いたいの？
Her smile seemed to sharply cut me. Her pointed words made it hard to get too close. Then, why me?
まだそんなことを考えてんの？
She sighed impatiently. She waved her hand to indicate she lost interest in this exchange.
あんたの親父が金持ちで、あんたが一人暮らしで、これ以上のターゲットはないと思ったからよ。それとも、恨みがないとあんたを選ぶはずがないと？あんたの不注意と、あんたの親父が稼ぎすぎてるのが悪いんだ。
I was still uncertain if the culprit was someone I knew. The fact she knew this much about my household was just bizarre. That question aside, didn't she just mention the shop? She had worked in the shop. What kind of shop? Maybe we can chat more? Let's see. No, that doesn't look good. Cigarettes. Oh wait. Can I burn out the rope with the lighter? That isn't really useful. At least I didn't take anything. Let's talk about the phone. Ah, something updated. Only soldiers or some tech manufacturers still use this kind of antique cell phone. Even old people use smartphones these days. Old phones can't connect to the internet, or leave a traceable GPS signal. Can only track location through a phone call. Is that why she uses it? You have quite an antique phone.
使えればいいの。なんで使わない機能をいっぱいつける必要があるんだ？
Well, the manufacturers need to make money with new products, and the technology is advancing, so...
あんたにとって必要な機能はどれくらいあるの？
She coldly interrupted me.
携帯を持っていない人もいれば、必要のない機能を欲しがる人もいる。同じじゃん。貧乏でご飯さえろくに食べられない人もいるのに、グルメ評論家とかを名乗って好き嫌いばっかり言う人もいる。だからあんたたちのことを本当に気持ち悪く思える。
So be it. Feeling the deep-rooted hatred in her look, I nonchalantly shrugged. Those things existed before, exist now, and will continue to exist in the future. We don't choose which part of the world we were born in. We can only struggle in this world with the pre-established rules. Chat some more? I guess we'll just talk about this last one. That girl. What's her plan? Will you let her go home after getting the money?
誰？
The one calling you Big Sis.
もちろん連れてく。
I heard some gangs would manipulate underage girls and make them into lackey to avoid arrest. It had been only a few days, but it was clear that little girl didn't know anything, and only followed instructions from her big sis. She looked worried when I was sick. It was just cruel to ask a kid of that age to be the scapegoat. Does her family know about this?
家族？
She frowned upon my question. There was some sort of communication barrier as something seemed amiss. She has a family, right? Or did they abandon her?
その子の家族は私なのよ。
Huh? I couldn't make sense of it at that moment and just froze there, forgetting about what she even just said.
だから、姉ちゃんって呼んでたじゃん、私のこと。
Wait, so you really are her sister? Like sister?
他に何があんの？
She impatiently crossed her arms across her chest and asked matter-of-factly. Ah, so... I thought she must be like her boss or maybe some surrogate sister. If that was the case, then her faith in her big sis would make sense. They are blood relatives after all. Nothing. Just that you don't look alike.
そっか。
She suspiciously looked at me and burst into laughter upon realization. She saw through me.
金をもらったら罪をかぶせるために拾ったことでも思った？
She was smiling, but there was no warmth in her expression.
ふざけんな。自分がやったことにはちゃんと責任を持つつもりよ。あんたたちみたいに自分にいいとこばかり残して悪いとこを他の人に押し付けるなんてしない。
I just think your little sister is a good kid and would rather she doesn't get involved.
そっか。私たちのことを気にかけているんだ。
She replied absent-mindedly, as though not believing one word I'd said. Note updated. Let me take a look at the note. Oh, hold on. Now I can take a look at it. Okay, a woman. So they're really siblings. No wonder she was this protective. Okay. The girl put down the phone and loosened her tense brow, along with a sigh of relief. What's up?
運が良かったな。話がついた。明日親父は金を払う。
For real?
くだらないことを聞くな。嘘をついてどうする？
She seemed to be in a rather good mood since all I got was just a look rather than a solid flying kick.
おとなしくしていれば、あんたをどうこうするつもりもね。
So, you will let me go?
さあな。とにかく、変な気を起こさずに、 おとなしく明日を待ってろ。
She gave no promise and just shrugged with an ambiguous attitude. It went differently than I expected. According to my understanding of my father, he had tried to buy more time to let the police track the kidnappers down. Yet instead he conceded rather easily that they really planned to just pay up. Knowing him, he wouldn't believe the kidnappers' claims so easily. He must have a plan. No idea. I didn't know what he had in mind, which was a sad realization of how distant our relationship was.
何しかめっ面してんだ。熱に頭でもやられたか？
She asked with a little surprise after seeing me not say anything with a lowered head. As if. I responded vaguely. While I didn't think things would go this smoothly, I had no intention to tell my kidnapper that. Without noticing my concern, she mumbled before opening a can of soda next to the window. She leaned back against the wall and let a long, tired sigh. She clearly didn't have it better than me, so preventing me from escaping. She also had to worry about the police and the negotiation process with my family. It might seem like it'd be over soon. The key event was of tomorrow. Would they really pay as promised? Could it just be a means to buy time? They always say parents will pay any amount of money for their children's safety. Don't make me laugh. We're not a normal family. Nothing could be done with this broken excuse of relationship. Despite telling myself not to have any hope, I still wish for them to pay up. I saw a contradiction even I couldn't really explain. My head started to ache again while pondering it. I tried to rest against the wall, while all sorts of thoughts stuck in my mind. Be a good boy at home, okay? Liar.
何なんだ、あんたのおふくろは。
Ah! I came back to my senses from the fuzzy memory and answered absentmindedly.
なぜあんたのおふくろから何の連絡もないんだ。国内にいるのに息子が拉致されても顔を出してこない。どう考えてもおかしいだろ。
Maybe she's busy. All the unpleasant memories came to mind, making me try to change the subject reflexively.
バカにしてるの？
She raised her eyebrow, clearly not pleased with this answer. In retrospect, it wasn't really a convincing answer. I still didn't intend to say more than that. Why do you care about my family? Are you an arranged marriage agent? If you let me go, I can give you my number. Maybe we... I stopped right in the middle of the sentence. There was only my voice throughout the conversation. She would normally have interrupted me by now. The strange silence spread across the room. I lifted my gaze and looked into her black eyes, realizing I sucked at hiding my thoughts.
答えたくない質問をされるたびに饒舌になるのも金持ちの作法？
Maybe. I didn't expect her to know such details, so acknowledged her sharp observation with a bitter smile. Did you figure me out already? You should know our relationship was bad.
気にするのは金があるかどうかだけだ。仲がいいか悪いかなんて知るもんか。
Why now then? responded casually, but couldn't help but wonder about the intention behind this question. Sheer curiosity? I felt it wasn't that simple.
あんたのおふくろは何がおかしいかを聞いてみたかっただけだ。クエンさんも連絡する必要がないと言うから。
Mr. Ken?
あんたとは無関係だ。おふくろのことは喋るのか？喋らないのか？
Seeing her impatiently brushing her hair, I alerted my head to ponder how to respond. I didn't know where to start, really. It was embarrassing I didn't feel the need to tell her.
どうなんだ？まさかママ母か？それとも親父が浮気したのか？
Seeing me now pondering, she started to guess randomly, managed to get pretty close to the truth. Something like that. Just the roles are reversed.
は？
In the end, I decided to go with the easiest explanation. My mom had another man. It wasn't really something I couldn't talk about, but it just triggered tons of unhappy memories. Since I was a kid, she often went out with someone, but I didn't know where to and what for. There's sometimes it would take her the whole week before she came home. Even the housekeeper couldn't give me a direct answer. Your mom is having an affair. There'd be no way for me to tell a 10-year-old that either. She spurred her head with a smile on her face, which looked more like gloating than sympathy.
あんたらもおかしいものだ。めちゃくちゃなことばかりやらかしてさ。風鈴だの、創作争いだの。生活が退屈すぎた？
Not expecting me to answer, she started to talk to herself and laughed, as though hoping to balance things out by hearing of others' misfortune.
親父も騙されてかわいそうなものだね。海外で必死に働いて人の女を養っているのも知らずにさ。
He knows.
知っている？
I said it casually and saw her staring at me dumbfounded. Yeah. He knew about my mother's affair. Cool story, right?
あんたバカ。
I have a sense of humor.
親父が知っているならなんで離婚しないわけ？おふくろを許した？それとも財産が握られていた？
She ignored my joke and kept prying. After confirming the ransom payment, she'd become a lot more talkative. Who knows? I don't care, nor do I want to figure it out. They like it this way and I can't do anything about it. I actually asked about that, just once. I can never forget his reaction back then. I angrily told him about Mother's affair, and then touching me tensed up immediately. Yet the shock only stayed on his face momentarily before being replaced by another emotion. Some sense of relief. He softly rubbed my head and told me Mommy didn't have an affair. I simply misunderstood. Misunderstood? No explanation, just one single word. With the company increasing in size, he spent more and more time abroad. Never did he ask the mother's whereabouts, or confront her, as though nothing happened. Why didn't he ask her? Why didn't they divorce? Why feign ignorance? I can ask anything seeing a soft smile, and the unanswered questions became the gap between us. It got wider over time until it became an unfixable distance.
ひょっとしたら親父も愛人がいて、結婚をただのブラフとか。
Maybe? I wouldn't be surprised.
親父はまだお袋を愛しているのか。
Just staying silent for a while, she eventually asked. I don't know. But I do know that I can't love her anymore. I didn't say the second part, and it didn't matter what the answer was. I deleted her phone number that day, and I moved out during high school, keeping minimal contact with my family. Since money came in every month, meeting up or not didn't matter. Maybe she knew that we already found out about it. No, maybe she wanted us to find out. In retrospect, too many things didn't make sense. There were better excuses for the affair to keep me from discovering it. She wanted Dad to know. Unbelievable as it was, it did explain many things. To force him to propose divorce? Testing his reaction? Regardless of the motive, there was no argument or confrontation as I expected. Just the status quo.
慰謝料が欲しいから、親父に離婚を迫っていたり。
No one would openly have an affair to get alimony. No judge would be so stupid. She tried to find an explanation with a darkened expression. Save it. You won't find an answer. They've been like this for years. At least tried to hide it from me when I was young. Now they don't even bother. The moment he was on the plane, she was already on her way to spend the night with another man. She just needed to play a good wife when he came home, as though nothing happened. It was like an adult version of playing house. The curtain raised and the room played their arranged parts. You're the dad working abroad. You're the mom taking care of the house. You're the kid that needs to go to school. You all knew it was fake, but no one would spell it out. I kept thinking that if my dad's company wasn't that big, if my family wasn't that rich, maybe things could have been different.
金がない方がいいと？
I expected that to trigger her. She started laughing coldly.
自分たちの問題なのに、ぶっちゃけるのがそんなに難しいこと？ことを複雑にしないと死ぬ病気？
Seeing your angry reaction, I somehow felt a little reassured. I finally confirmed I, myself, wasn't abnormal, but that my family relationship was abnormal. Things wouldn't go away if you pretend you didn't see them. That was just lying to herself.
愛が冷めたらそう言って別れればいい。一緒にいるならそういう真似をやらかすな。それだけのことだろ。
Who knows? They like it that way. I didn't want to argue with her. The world is too complicated. Too many people, too many things that will take a lifetime to understand. Why do they do that? Why does society function like this? Why can't one ever be satisfied? I don't know. There is no answer, then you just accept it. Reality wouldn't change just because you don't agree with it, or because you know the cause.
どうしようもない。頭湧いてんのか。
She waved her hand impatiently, as though nothing I said was worth a dime.
おかしいと思ったら人に聞いてはっきりさせれば。それともドラマの主人公のつもり？
You don't get it. Even if I...
あんたこそ何も分かっていない。
Abruptly interrupting me, she coldly responded.
自分はどれほど恵まれていたかも知らずに、どれほどの人に羨まれる立場にいるかも知らずに、自分じゃ何もできないとばかり言う。あんたと同じ暮らしが欲しい人間は山ほどいるのに、あんたが金がなければだと。不幸なふりはよしてくれ。十分幸せよ、お坊ちゃま。これくらいの問題からも逃げようとしてるなら、マジでいっぺん死んでこい。
Angry as usual, but this time it seemed different. I could tell she was treating what I'd said seriously. I was dumbfounded by that realization. I never told anyone about my family. I realized it wouldn't even matter if I did. Is that it? How come? Poor thing. The boys' reactions were just exhausting. No one really cared, and then it became a random subject of chit-chat. It's like talking about disasters on social media. All the self-righteous comments were really just empty words on things that had nothing to do with you. All I did was notify others. Hey, I know about this. I have a heart. It's all meaningless. If you want to escape from even this type of problem, you may as well just die. Upon hearing that, I realized I was escaping. Fearing that atmosphere, fearing my parents. I ran into my own world and never attempted to negotiate with them.
なんだ、文句があれば言えばいい。
Seeing me not say anything, she stared at me coldly while brushing her messy hair. No. You're right. I sighed. I actually felt much better despite my situation remaining the same. She went silent, hoping to see if I was mocking her or being honest. Then she spat and turned her head away, seemingly more awkward than mad.
どう思おうがあんたの勝手だ。どうせ明日に金が手に入れば、二度と会うことはないだろうからな。
Good luck. She lit up a cigarette. The faint tobacco smell permeated the room, along with the cool night air. They'd get the money tomorrow and everything just ended. That would be the best possible outcome. I shook my head and laughed at myself. Even I couldn't believe that. Life is fated to be a tragedy. Who does live in the hope of a miracle? I recalled that line. The air I breathed out turned into white smoke. Through it, I saw the foggy moon outside of the window. Even if just once, I hoped a miracle would happen. "3 o'clock in the morning. The girl was falling asleep in the chair. She had woken up a few times in a fit of drowsiness. Even the energy drink didn't help much. Worrying she might really fall asleep, she decided to sit next to the door with the blanket. And there's only one exit. You'd have to go through here if you wanted to escape. Even triple checking the ropes could remove the unease. The image of him escaping came to her mind every time she closed her eyes. It would be all over in a few hours. That was a simple determination that kept her going till now. She had imagined how she would pay out the debt multiple times, and now she could see the end of the line. She didn't know how to avoid arrest, or what to do afterward. She just had to believe that things would be different.
あと数時間。
quiet sweet talking echoed through the room. The girl secretly closed her eyes.
本当に綺麗で、こんなに綺麗な空を見たのは本当に久しぶりだった。もっと苦しめてやってもいいんだよ、私。あんたたちみたいなやつらは大嫌い。私の何がわかるんだ。言ってみなさいよ。
へちゃんはそんなことしないもん。あなたこそへちゃんのことが全然わかってない。
いつもこうだ。夜行。
あ、ライトインザダーク。